Hi, everybody. I
We're beating the odds, I'm taking them on. You see the gloves that I've been wearing, I'm taking them off. Not scared, not at all, I'm seeing the cause. Who you think they call when they need it enforced? Yeah. Doing more than talk, true to it, can't rip the team apart. Back, gon' set it off, dance with the devil, we gon' heat it up. Back from beyond, you gon' find out what it mean to me to go. Back from beyond, find out what it mean to me to go. Coming back from beyond, now we getting what's on. Against all odds, I'ma get that, bring that on, go and tell me where they at. Against all odds, I'ma do this, standing in the way, I think you better move. Against all odds, I'ma do this, you in the way, I think you better move. Against all odds, I'ma do this, you in the way, I think you better move. Against all odds.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that technical glitch there. I'd like to welcome everyone to Defying the Odds. I'm your host, Higgy. Defying the Odds is a product of No More Heroin 501c3. It's my nonprofit. I'm the CEO. All proceeds from the streaming will go directly into the No More Heroin nonprofit account to provide sober living scholarships and necessities for people leaving treatment. This episode is sponsored by Grace Recovery and Wellness in Anderson, Indiana. They are my employers, and they have offered to provide me with this space for doing my podcasting. So I'd like to thank Grace Recovery and Wellness for all that they do. Defying the Odds is my attempt to create a ripple effect of positivity, hope, inspiration, and sharing testimonies of people that have overcome horrible situations in their life, those seemingly insurmountable odds, and have decided to step out of the shadows and share their testimony with people in hopes that it will provide hope for other people. And having said that, if you're catching us live, you'll see the live button over there. Drop a hashtag live and let us know where you're watching from. If that button is not there, you're catching a replay, you drop a hashtag replay. I'm going to catch my breath. I have an amazing guest tonight. We were chopping it up prior. Chris Jones, his stage name is Jonezen. He makes some powerful music. He's a recovery sober coach in California, and he's got an amazing testimony. And I'm going to bring Jonezen on right now, and I want you all to show some love in the comments because today Jonezen is celebrating 12 years of sobriety.
Nah, tomorrow.
No, tomorrow. One day early, no fronts.
Yeah, man, we gotta make it through the night still.
Thank you. Before we get started, I want to express my gratitude for the quality of music that you put out. Your lyrics are meaningful, they're impactful, they're thought-provoking, and they offer hope. You know, for us that have survived the dark place of addiction and alcoholism, mental health issues, your lyrics are so impactful, and I want to thank you for that.
Hey, man, well, thank you for the kind words, man. Thank you. I think it's always an honor, and I never quite know how to respond when I hear stuff like that, you know. But it's special. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for everything that you do. Where are you from?
Detroit,
Michigan. How did you end up in California?
I was a young kid. Well, not that young. I was 20. And, my younger brother, who was in my first band, he had graduated high school early and went to Mammoth with one of his friends who was training to be like a pro snowboarder. And so I had never really wanted to be in Michigan so much, but I kind of went to college there just because that's where my friends were going, and
sure,
just made that choice. I prioritized feeling comfortable and included and like a part of a crew and going to school with all my boys. And anyway, man, so my brother went to Mammoth and he came home one winter and we had just started our band and we were drunk and we were sitting around a kitchen table And we're like, dude, we got to all move to California. Like, we got to go do this, you know? And Zach, that's my brother, Zach. He's like, all right, I'm down, but like, just not Mammoth again, you know? And we were like, okay, where? And we somehow, I think it was him who threw out Lake Tahoe. And none of us had ever been there. And we were just like, yeah, Tahoe. And so it's like a few days later, that was actually the same conversation we named the band in. We didn't have a name until then. We named it that night too. And then so a few days later, I told my dad I was dropping out of college, and I did. And then we threw our stuff in a car and drove from Detroit to Lake Tahoe. And I landed there and I never went home. It's been 20 years.
I see a lot of photos from Venice Beach, videos. I think some of it's Huntington Beach as well.
Yeah, Venice is kind of my backyard, I guess. I'm about 3 miles from there, straight shot. And yeah, so I'm in Venice. I start and end every day at the beach, man. That's kind of my routine. I either surf or run or work out, you know, and it just kind of helps me get right with God and, you know, get the body feeling good and mind in a good place. So yeah, that's how
Absolutely.
Every day.
So I have queued up Remember Me Like This, and you allowed me, and I want to thank you again for letting me use your soundtrack in the intro video. And I made a memorial video for my best friend, Matt Hall. He was also an artist. I used the song because it really touched me, and it felt right, and you let me use it. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to play Remember Me Like That, like this.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I take back when I said that I've been unaffected. I know I'm affected, I know. So face facts, gotta face that. Need to learn your lessons. You got some records, but don't go. Gave up, feel like I ain't got no control. I hate it, kill my shadow, but I chased his ghost. So save us, someone come and save us from ourselves. Get faded, you numb the pain so well. Yeah, I'm falling. Weight of these secrets, they got you drowning. Reach out for help, but ain't no one calling. Thinking it's too late to say I'm sorry, 'cause I'm sorry, yeah. I know we gonna pay for all the things that we did. I know you can't get away, the past is coming again. And on the day that I leave, just wave and blow me a kiss. When I'm gone, baby, gon' remember me like this. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh. Remember me like this. Whoa, oh. When I'm gone, baby, gon' remember me like this. Take back when I said that I've been unaffected. I know I'm affected, I know. So face facts, gotta face that. Need to learn your lessons. You got some records, but don't go.
Yo, we fall down, but we get back up like a dose of the pain when the fear act up. Look a man in the eye like your own mirror. You can see the same pain that'll never clear up. When the day ever come that I really do fall, I just hope that it did enough good for my wrongs. I ain't never meant pain for the weight of my love and the truth and the lines of my songs when I'm gone.
Yeah, falling. Weight of these secrets, they got you drowning. Reach out for help, but ain't no one calling. Thinking it's too late to say I'm sorry, 'cause I'm sorry, yeah. I know we gonna pay for all the things that we did. I know you can't get away, the past is coming again. And on the day that I leave, just wave and blow me a kiss. When I'm gone, baby, gon' remember me like this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Remember me like When I'm gone, baby, gon' remember me like this.
Powerful, powerful, powerful.
Thank you, man.
Let me get this off here. Screen share done. Thank you. What's the backstory on that? What was your motivation for writing that?
You know, my friend, when I write songs, man, especially songs like that, you know, they just kind of happen. And so when I sat down to do this whole acoustic project that's like rolling out, that was the first song from it. There was no plan. There was no, I want to write a song like this or about this. It just kind of came to be, you know. As soon as I play something on the, like it just sit down with a guitar, and it's usually like the first few chords I play, and then I hear a melody in my head, and then I just track it and go. And those were the words that came out, you know. And I think it kind of, it's just when you write songs like that, they're just a reflection of really like what's happening in your head at the moment, you know, in your life right at that time. And I think I was dealing with my shoulder injury, and it had been a while, and I wasn't getting better, and I just was having all these questions about like, you know, like what happens if this, what happens if that, and then, you know, and then I started questioning just things, choices that I'd made when I was a kid and from my past, and I was like, and then I start getting into in my head like, yo, man, like what fucking things, what experiences like have I not let go of yet? You know, that like might be like impacting me on a physical level. And so there was a lot of that, you know, and then it, you know, it kind of is also about just that you can't outrun the past, man, you know, and at some point you gotta face yourself, you know, and try and figure out how to just move forward and use all the things that you maybe regret for a positive, you know, and then like on a very real level, or not real, it's all real, but like practical level, it was like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this, you know? And so it was like, remember me like this version of me before the world and time just gets you, man.
Right. Father Time catches us all, right?
Yeah. And so the song means a lot of different things to me. And I think ultimately, though, I think the biggest thing is it's about karma and regret and moving past those things. And, you know,
it's beautifully ambiguous, I believe.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, I wish I should have just said that.
Yeah. What was it like working with Overtime on that song? This is not your first time working with Overtime, right?
No, second time on a record. And OT is always such a stand-up guy, like as stand-up in the industry as they come, dude. And so the first song we did was, ironically, both of them have the word remember in the title. So the first one's called Remember My Name, and that's like an aggressive guitar rock kind of.
I dig it.
Yeah, and so that was the first one. And, you know, that was before we knew each other. Just kind of got in touch with him on the internet, and he handled that like a pro. And then from there, we built a relationship, and, you know, he started letting me like kind of come out and do spot dates with him and his band when he was on tour. And then this one was, I had the whole song, or the whole album done. And so the way I'll tell you, this is maybe the first person who knows this, or like that I've said maybe publicly, but so the album has 5 songs that are just me. And then I took those 5 songs and I took my second verse off, all of them. And then so that you have featured. So there's 5 versions that are with featured artists. And then when you buy the album, there'll be the original 5 that were like, as I intended it to be heard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent all 5. OT was the first person I sent anything to. And I sent him the whole project with all my verses gone. And I said, take your pick, dude. Like, what do you know? And that's the song that he chose. And
It's dope, bro.
yeah. He loved it. I loved it. And I flew out to Montana. That video was shot in Montana, and I stayed at his house for a couple days and shot the video, the content, and yeah, man. And then boom, we rolled it out in November, and there you have it.
That's awesome. I'd like to get into your backstory on your how you came to be coming up on 12 years sober tomorrow, and then we'll get back. I've got another a track that I want to play for everyone. That when I play this track in my office, when I first played it, people are stopping by. Who is that? That sounds good.
Which one is it again?
Penny Lane.
Oh man,
I like Look Ma too.
Look Mom is
Look,
yeah, that's maybe my
all-time favorite.
Man, it's really hard to say, because I think as an artist or a creator, it's same with the podcast, when you do something you love, you're like, this is my favorite ever. And then give it time and you do something else that you really love. And you're like, this, I think, is my favorite ever.
The next thing you know, you got a whole library, right?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff you can look back on and, remember where you were at that time.
Yeah.
What was going on, what it meant to you then and what it means to you now. I don't have skills like that because I can't carry a tune in a bucket. but I can hear music and I love it.
Yeah. Penny Lane was the first record I ever sung on. First time. And that was a stretch for me then, and my then manager encouraged me to put it out. I remember I recorded it and I sent it to her and I said, what do you think of this? And she was like, dude, I love it. It's like, that's a good lane for you. And I was like, okay, let's put it out. It turned out to be one of my biggest songs.
And before I forget, the UFC used Light 'Em Up on the intro for a fight night, right?
Yeah, I don't know what fight. I forget what fight, but that was like a few weeks ago.
How did that feel? That's freaking UFC.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate in that way. I get to do a lot of different stuff, So like some of the albums, if you go to my Spotify page, some of those are just written for like UFC style things, promos, sports, and they're aggressive. They're bangers,
Bangers.
Yeah, they're guitars, like heavy, like let's get hyped up music. And I love that. And then I also love doing stuff like Penny Lane.
That's funny you say that, because when I'm in the gym and I'm listening to your music, I define that as hype music. It gets you hyped up. It's hype music.
Yeah. It's workout, dude. It's workout playlist music, bro. And I
love it, man.
Yeah, I've been blessed, man. There's a lot of music gets used for stuff like the UFC, and it's always nice. I'm always honored, because I think for me it's cool just because music helps tell a story, and amplify a moment, and so when someone selects something that you made to help them do that, that's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. Anyway, yeah. So
what about this one?
Yeah. What about that one?
What about that one?
Toxic. Man, you want to, that's a song about a girl, and it's really, I think more than about a girl, it's about, I kind of tell the story and I say, you so toxic, but like, if you really, what I'm saying is I let myself be engulfed with this because of my own character defects and my ego and my pride and my fears, my insecurities. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened.
I guess you could have said we are toxic, right?
I'm not
She's toxic. It's all her fault.
I'm just playing, man. But you know, that was I don't know if you'll ever hear another song like that from me. Not that I'll certainly write songs about relationships, I think, forever, but that was the kind of pop punk leaning sound, you know, was again another stretch. The whole Runaway album was just kind of like different for me, you know. My hands down my favorite though to date. Anyway,
Was
yeah,
that representative of you at one point?
the
Runaway?
Runaway album. Yeah. Have you listened to that? To the it's okay to
Not
say.
in its entirety. I got you on my Apple.
Yeah,
I got the whole things just on rotation the whole time.
yeah. Listen, you know, when you get a minute, if you have an interest, listen to the album in its entirety, front to back.
And where would you suggest I find that on
Apple, it's on Apple.
Spotify, Apple?
Apple's fine. Yeah, if you just click
Okay.
the Runaway album, it's for me that album was really about like that was a turning point for me writing songs in that way. I wrote that album the way that I wrote TV projects, and it changed the way I approach songwriting, you know. And so TV projects I write fast, and I think the key thing, I don't think about it. No thought, you know. It's like, is the riff tight? Cool, let's track it. And then, did I think of a cool cadence? All right, cool. Lay that, mumble it down, you know. And there's no like, ooh, is that good enough? Did I say that in the right way? It's just
The way it is, right?
it just happens, you know. And I had never written a personal song in that way. I would always think, I mean, I think that being an alcoholic, you know, I have a tendency to overthink things, you know,
Yes.
and complicate the uncomplicated, you know. And so I think I've done that in my songwriting forever, like, and perfectionism, like, oh, I gotta say
Right.
this line isn't good enough, or something's, you know. And with the Runaway album, I just wrote it how I wrote TV songs, man. First thing I played, first melody I liked, and I just tracked it. A lot of what you hear in that album is first take.
That's
And
awesome. So back to the perfectionism piece.
Yeah, sure.
Being you know, a perfectionist will derail a whole thing if you obsess on that. And I think that's the same in our recovery too. If we're looking to have a perfect program and we're obsessing over our mistakes and, you know, our misgivings, and it can derail our whole recovery as well.
Man, big time. You know, what's the cliche saying? Progress, not
Perfection.
yeah, you know. And I think, man, there are people say this all the time, and they say it because it's true. Like, there's no right way to do this thing, and we get way caught up in trying to figure out the right way, or we can. And you just stay within the guidelines. This is what I tell people all the time when I teach groups or I work with sponsees or something. I say, look, man, you know, if you don't want to follow all the rules around here, you don't have to. But if you want to break them, you got to learn them first.
Booyah. I like that.
Yeah. So you want to break the rules, you got to learn them. And that applies to AA. You know, it's like, what you got to do what you're told for a while until you fucking get it, you know, until you've had that spiritual experience, until the obsession's been removed. You got to follow the rules. You got to do what you're told to do. Otherwise you won't get it. You're trying to break the rules and you don't know anything, you know.
Just rebelling for no reason.
And that's me to a T. Like, I don't
Me too, bro. Me too.
I don't want to do what you're telling me to do. But learn the rules, man. Play the game. Do
the
it.
Guidelines, all that.
And then once you figure it out, then you see what works for you. Then you have time. Then you can start doing a little bit of like swerving all over the road and like seeing,
Right.
seeing like what your program's really going to look like, you know. But not in the beginning. You got to play by the rules.
Everyone, if put your questions in the comments, and as we get to the end, I'll bring them up and have Chris answer them for you, and I'm giving shout outs and whatnot as well. I want to call you Chris. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us, what it was like, man, growing up, how you found yourself in a position where, you'd almost died from alcoholism?
I did.
And what happened?
Yeah, man. When I checked into treatment, it was not pretty, Yeah, I had at age 26, I had got my last arrest, and it was for assaulting a police officer down in San Diego, and at the airport. Don't remember it to this day. Every piece of information I have from that night came from the arresting officer a few days later. Anyways, so I bottomed out, man. I was just in a dark place, and I was kind of ruining all my relationships. The band that I was in with my brother and our other friend, we were just on the way out, but no one had said that, and it was largely due to, I think, me and my demeanor and whatever. And so I was flying to see my girlfriend in San Fran, get arrested. I get out of jail and call my pops. And I was like, yo, I need to get sober. Flew me home to Detroit, took me to see a doctor. Doctor was like, did blood work, all that stuff, gave me some detox meds. And he's like, look, if you don't quit drinking, you're going to die. And I had liver hepatitis. That's what he called it, liver hepatitis. And, and that freaked me out for a couple days, and I was home for 30. My parents think I put together 30 days, and I probably did 3, maybe 4. And I just would say I was going to walk the dog or go buy smokes and buy liquor and stash it in the garage, And so I moved to LA with that same girl that I was flying to see, and really bottomed out. I was there for a year, and and then found myself in treatment today, 12 years ago. And man, life it goes from super full, like young kids living the dream, move to California, start to do well in a band, and work odd jobs, but you feel like this vision that you have is coming to life, and and there's people around, and there's love everywhere. I think those times in my life, my 20s, were characterized by more laughter than anyone deserves in a lifetime, man. I mean, it was just funny and no rules, man, just reckless. And first band was called Out of Control. And I have that tattooed across my chest, Out of Control. And we were just nuts. And so it goes from that to fast forward, I'm 27, and the girl I'm living with can't stand me. I'm a freaking disaster. I'm shaking and twitching every day, sweating, going through withdrawals unless I'm drinking. And she goes to work, and I stay at home on the couch and watch episodes of Law and Order all day. And that's how it ended, and how it got there was, man, just when I was just a kid, something, I feel like I have the average story, dude, where I just didn't feel right. I was really smart. I was really talented. I was really athletic, and I fit in, but I felt like I didn't.
Right. And
because I felt like I didn't, that pushed me to be always looking for more, the next thing. I was never content. I was never happy where I was. And so I started to get attracted to, and I'm a rebel at heart, man. I'm a rebel, I'm an outlaw. I don't like authority. I don't like rule. I don't like what I'm supposed to do. Even when what I'm supposed to do is what I want to do, if it's not what I'm supposed to do, I don't want to do it.
What's the allure of that, right?
Dude, I was such a good basketball player, and it's what I wanted to do, but when it became what I was supposed to do, when it got to a level where it was like, you have to show up and you have to train like this and
It's expected of you, right?
And I was like, fuck you. I don't want to do that anymore. But it was like my love, man, you know, and because I was told I had to, now I was like, I don't want to. And that's like one of the top 3 regrets of my life right there, is quitting basketball. But, you know, so I just had that, bro. And I started smoking weed and I started drinking, and then I, you know, started getting arrested. And I just did that from first time I got arrested, I was 12 years old. So I was 12 through my 20s, just arrested and in trouble, you know, partying, trouble, all of it. And then I go to college, and then I moved to California, and we do the band thing, man, you know, and there's at one point, if you took a screenshot of like all my friends and life, you would have been like, they're all either going to go to jail, treatment, or be dead.
Right.
Every one of them, without question. And the only 2 of us that ended up getting sober are my brother and myself. And
Really?
So, yeah. And everyone else is fine. It's like, so you know how it goes, man. Like everybody's like bad, but then someone just like tanks, you know? Like that was me, you know, where it was like, yo, dude, when you're like the cokehead amongst cokeheads, it's not a good look.
When dealers don't want to sell you any more drugs because you're that bad.
Yeah, man. And that was me, you know? And so it just got it went from out of control to like just out of hand. And there was no turning back, you know?
It's that runaway train, right?
Yeah, man. It was a
No
runaway
brakes. We didn't know, we just don't know how to stop, don't know how to get off the train either.
Yeah. And I didn't know how to stop or get off. And I didn't want to for a long time, because, you know, you live in a state of mostly delusion, I think.
I agree.
Where there's this part of you that has moments of clarity, that knows that this isn't good, and where you're heading also isn't good, you know? But the majority of the time, you're in this weird place of lying to yourself, almost knowing that you're lying to yourself, but doing it nonetheless and believing it nonetheless, telling yourself things like, I'm the man, I got it, don't worry, this is fun, you know, whatever. And it's all this delusion, you know, and your life is just tearing apart at the seams. And
I didn't know who I was without it.
Yeah. Oh,
it was so ingrained in me, you know, the habits, the behaviors, the coping mechanisms, all of that. It was so ingrained and hard to break. And I didn't know who I was without it.
Yeah. And that's, I think that's something that people really have a hard time with.
Identity.
Yeah. Identity, you know, it's like, especially to think when I got to rehab, I had made, I don't want to say a living, because we sold drugs and we worked odd jobs, but like we had made a name for ourselves in the underground hip hop scene, and we had made money and accomplished some things and whatever. And the whole identity was out of control, drinking, drugs. And I have that shit tattooed on my chest. Show up to a treatment center and they're like, party's over, dude. You know, and I'm like, the biggest slap in the face, like, who am I? Who am I? I have no clue. You know, I've spent my whole life building and being this persona. Like, who am I, man?
Right. I get it.
Trip. Yeah, such a trip.
So 12 years ago, what was it like for you? I mean, did you have any idea what recovery looked like? First off, did you want to get sober?
Nope.
My
My choice was rehab or homeless. The girl left, and I was left alone in my apartment in LA, and my lease was up, and I had no money. And she had been talking to my father, and I didn't know that at the time. I know it now. but yeah, she had been talking to my dad and was like, yo, you need to, like, your son is not doing well. Like, and I'm leaving, and like, you need to do something. And so he called me one day. This is at least how I remember it going. He might tell you something different, but this is what I remember. He called me and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't, whatever I said, nothing, chilling, whatever.
Just chilling.
Yeah. And he was like, let's get coffee. And I was like, oh, you're here. You're in LA. Like, and he's like, yeah, and then he showed up at my door not long after that. And, yeah, that was probably a few days ago, 12 years ago,
Is that terrifying for you?
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. Probably, but I don't know, man. When you're in that dark of a place, like, it's hard to be terrified.
Absolutely. I agree. What I was referring to is your dad in town unexpectedly.
Oh, no. I think I was shocked, and definitely like, oh, fuck.
He's coming to see me?
I gotta see my dad, man. Shit. I think he might have told me this in either this trip or the one before, but I remember I told him I was good. I was like, he's like, how are you? I was like, I'm good. And he goes, I don't think you know what good is anymore. And that's stuck with me ever since then, like that my reference point of good, it was so distorted, that he goes, you don't even know what good is anymore. Anyways, I don't remember how I felt. I just know he came, and somewhere in those, early on in those few days, he said, rehab or homeless. And then he said, if you choose to not go, no one's answering your phone calls. Your mom, me, your brother, Nana, no one.
Love at its finest.
Yeah. And, he said, no one's going to answer your calls, until you're in a treatment center. And I think I told him I would think about it. And he stayed at my house, slept on my couch, and, and then he started looking for treatment centers. I don't think I had said I was going to go yet, but he started looking. And then I went to a couple, and man, my plan, I'll tell you this, bro. I was just like a lot of people. I was going to buy time, thinking that I was going to get out and figure it out, that something magical was going to happen, that, and I'd all of a sudden have money and it'd be fine. And so I went. My plan was to get loaded. And I went to treatment. I had no idea what it was about. I had been like court ordered when I was a kid to like scared straight stuff, random like support group shit, AA stuff. But that was my whole knowledge of it, and I thought it was weird. I thought it was, I was very anti-religion, anti-God, anti-everything, and somewhere along the way, man, I just kind of let my guard down a little bit, and things started to change. My attitude changed, and I just, I stayed at that inpatient center for 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. And by the time I got out, I had a sponsor. I was in the steps, and I went to sober living, and I stayed there for 4 months. And, dude, by the time I got to sober living, I wasn't thinking about drinking anymore. I was feeling pretty good. A
miracle had to happen.
Yeah, man, I think it did. I think for me, it happened in a relatively short amount of time. Like once I was just done, and I didn't know I was done yet, and I begrudgingly, eventually I did what was asked of me, and I got a sponsor, and I started doing the steps. And when I did that,
you stopped fighting.
And everything changed. My mentality changed, man. I had that spiritual experience. It came slowly, gradually. There wasn't like a white light, anything crazy, but
the educational variety, right?
That it was me, my friend.
I get it.
And it was a beautiful thing, man. It was the best choice I ever made was going to that treatment center, and yeah, I mean, it all just lined up perfect.
That's beautiful, bro. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm gonna jump into some of these comments real quick, and then I want to play Penny Lane for everybody, chop it up a little bit more. Hi, Janet. It's good to see you. Kathy Holt. Hi, Kathy. It's good to see you. Hi, Ellie. It's my niece. I love you, Uncle Higgy. I love you, Uncle Higgy. I love you. Jennifer LePage. I love you. It's my friend in Australia.
Yeah, she was talking about you the other day.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be seeing you in Fort Wayne, Indiana, too. I've got the meet and greet all lined up, so I can't wait to meet you in person.
Yeah, man, we're all gonna be back there for the meet and greets, and so yeah, I'm excited to get to chill. Usually, I think we're gonna do some little things a little different with sound.
I didn't count, but how many stops are on that tour?
You know what, dude? I didn't count either. A lot.
Hey, it's going to be a blast one way or another.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think this first half it's like 40 something, 42, 43.
How long does it last? What's the length of the tour?
First show is March 28th and it ends June.
That's a grip of time, bro, out there.
Yeah, it's 2.5 April, May. Yeah, it's it's almost 3 full months, man. Yeah.
He's got a really nice bus.
Yeah, he does. How long have you been
traveling in comfort? How long have you been in the music industry, and what instruments can you play? I know you play guitar, but anything else?
Guitar is the only thing I play well. Leave it at that. Yeah, I can mess around on a keyboard, but really slowly, and only because I know guitar. I can just like kind of know where the notes are. I'm only a guitar player. And how long in the music industry? In the industry, doing shows, putting out albums, 20 years.
20 years. So I found a bio that I want to read to you. It says, born and raised in Detroit, Chris Jones, a.k.a. Jonezen, is an award-winning hip-hop rap writer, guitarist who now resides in Los Angeles. Almost dying from alcoholism, he rebounded to win the Los Angeles Music Awards 2 years in a row for Hip-Hop Artist and Solo Performer of the Year. He also won #1 contender at the Underground Music Awards and was nominated twice at the Hollywood Music and Media Awards alongside other major international artists. Jonezen has toured with some of the biggest names in the business and has garnered extensive airplay on MTV, VH1, and FM radio, including Power 105.1 in New York and Sirius XM. That's impressive. That's really impressive. And it says you're an actor as well.
No, that's bullshit. I don't know who wrote that.
Was it fairly accurate?
Oh, the bio's accurate, yeah, and missing some stuff, but yeah, it's probably.
Okay, what would you like people to know about you and your career?
You know, if there's anything to know, I think it's that all that shit you just read is cool, man, but it ain't what it's about. You know, what it's about is, for me, writing songs that represent real and authentic emotion that's in me, and that hopefully those things connect with other people. That's what it's about. It's about connecting with other people and doing things that I believe in. The awards and the other shit is a cherry on top, and they're things that I'm proud of, you know, and that I can look back on and feel accomplished. But it's not what it's about, you know.
Right, you're touching a large number of people with your music. A lot of the folks in the comments here, you're super humble and very welcoming to people that you message me back right away when I email you, or you know, in a timely manner. And I've talked to other people that speak very highly of you in that regard as well. You pay really close attention to your fan base. You try to give hope and suggestions and guidance wherever you can, and because you are a sobriety coach, right?
Yeah, I work I would really call my job a group facilitator, and so I run groups at treatment centers, and then I do work occasionally one-on-one with clients who need life coaching.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's rewarding work.
So I thought I read somewhere that you have your own company doing sober coaching. Is that right? Or do you work for a facility or multiple facilities?
So I work at multiple facilities, but for myself.
Okay.
Contractor, and the group that my kind of flagship group is a curriculum that I created, incorporating business, because I have an MBA, and so I take business and life skills and package it together in a way that I think is accessible and cool to learn. And then, a lot of the groups kind of just end up being, this is my take on life, but so I think it's a combination of I work with places for myself, but also kind of for them. I'm a
For sure.
Whatever.
It's an entrepreneurial spirit right there.
It is. Yes. Yes.
So Christina Pruitt says, I feel a strong connection with Jonezen music because I can relate to it so very much. I have been clean and sober 5 years. Congratulations, Christina.
Big congrats, Christina. Christina's
5 years is a grip, a little grip.
Dude, getting up there, man. 5. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the road, Christina.
Jen, I love you. She's one of my former clients. I didn't realize I didn't really find myself or like myself till I went to rehab, Grace Recovery and Wellness. Best decision I ever made. I think she's coming up on 7 months. Are you still on here, Jen? Higgy, what? Nope, she's just checking in. Just checking in. Got a call today. Love you. Okay. Kathy says Jonezen music is the best, and he even gave me a special birthday shout out last year, and I wasn't expecting it like that, but he almost made me fall out of my chair and brought tears to my eyes. Very awesome. Okay, so I would like to share with you all the song Penny Lane. Would you like to preface this before I play it?
Penny Lane. Sure, I'll preface this.
Go ahead.
So you remember the girl that left and I was in the apartment and bottomed out?
Yes.
That's her.
Okay.
And we ended up, we dated for 2 years and then she left. And then I got sober and we dated for another 7. And so we dated 9 years. She's still a really good friend. And if you're going to play the video, that's actually her.
I wanted to ask, but I wasn't going to.
It's her. Yeah, it's actually her in the video. Yeah.
Don't bring it up. Here we go.
She a modern day Penny Lane. She my drug, yeah, my Novocaine. Hold me down when I go away. Go with them words, she know what to say. And when I get low, she makes me feel good. When I get old, she gon' call me home. She a real day one, always had my back. Telling all the homies that I got it like that. No Penny Lane, yeah. Chasing dreams like they was dollars. No, she got me deceiving without the commas. Money earned, but this time it's borrowed. Caught between me planning for the future and living like they ain't no tomorrow. Yeah, love her even when she called drama. She more wifey than a baby mama. She a day one, been around since I was hitting bottles. See me at the top and at the bottom. You know, honey, we done been around. Can't believe all them things that we doing now. You know, honey, we done been around. All that drama that I caused, you still around. You still around. She a modern day Penny Lane. She my drug, yeah, my Novocaine. Hold me down when I go away. Do with them words, she know what to say. And when I get low, she make me feel good. When I get old, she gon' call me home. She heard day one, always had my back. Telling all the homies that I got it like that. My funny like, no, it ain't real without an issue. Think I got these tattoos to cover scar tissue. Yeah, remember nights with them boxes of tissue. Was never violent, but these words might have hit you. I came to term with that pride and discretion there. I ain't lying, yeah, sometimes it's still upsetting, but you ain't perfect, nor mine. I've accepted that I'm done with wasting time. Rather count my blessings, honey, we done been around. Can't believe all them things that we doing now. Doing now, you know, honey, we done been around. All that drama that I caused, you still around, you still around. She a modern day plaything. She my drug, yeah, my Novocaine. Hold me down when I go away. Do with them words, she know what to say. And when I get low, she make me feel good. When I get old, she gon' call me home. She heard day one, always had my back. Telling all the homies that I got it like that. But anyway, yeah, she been constant. Straight shooting up this on us. And on the Bible and the promise. Shorty got a body and she flawless. Yeah.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
I think they get the idea, man.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to enlarge the screen, but yeah. So one of the things I noticed when just watching the video again for like the 20th time, she brought in a bottle of wine and brought you Perrier.
Yeah.
Significant.
Significant, he says. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we shot that definitely when I was sober, probably a couple years at least.
She's attractive, bro.
She is attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is attractive. She's good people, man. She's good people.
Okay, so we're coming up on the hour. What suggestions would you give someone that is thinking about giving recovery a shot? You know, they're not committed to it. They're just toying with the idea that having a problem, they're being told they have a problem. What would you suggest to someone out there in that position?
When you have a moment of clarity and there's a window, you got to walk through it.
Yep.
I
agree.
I think that we often have times where we're like, damn, you know, I should really insert thing, you know, and if you don't do it right then, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, the window of opportunity is very small when willingness comes. Were you like me that when you were drinking or getting high, did you realize that I've got a problem? I need to do something about this. And then when you're craving for it, that thought goes away and it goes back to chasing whatever substances or alcohol that you were using. Okay, let's put it this way. What did your moment of clarity look like?
So there was one after that last arrest when I said I need to get sober to my pops. And to be honest with you, my friend, I don't remember the other ones because what got me into treatment wasn't a moment of clarity. You know, it was a kind of I wasn't forced, but I was given a choice and I didn't like the options.
The ultimatum.
And yeah. And so I didn't do anything that was like, okay, I need to get help, you know, and then go. It was, you're going to go or you're going to be homeless. And so I went. Now, in that stretch of time and maybe those couple years, there was probably moments where I was like, damn, this is out of hand. I just don't remember any of them. You know, I don't remember.
Okay. Let's see if there's any more questions. I would like you guys to go to Overtime's website if you're interested in attending the Road to Gold. Tickets are at www.overtimemusic.com. Let me have this picture here. This is the flyer. Who are the accompanying artists?
You got Big Murph, Dirty, and Colt Graves, and myself. And my guess is that there'll be a bunch of opening acts in different cities that are local, and you might see Andrew Sweeney, who is OT's bass player, but also a really talented songwriter and guitar player himself.
He is. I met him on the tour, the Blue Collar Soldiers Band.
Yeah. You might see him open a few shows with an acoustic set, I would imagine.
That'd be dope. Hell yeah.
He does that from time to time. So, yeah, but those are the guys, man. They're all really talented. And the show, OT really, really cares about his opening acts. And so, it's going to be a good concert front to back.
It is. It's a good time. It really is a good time.
Yeah, and it's good for all of us because I think there's a lot of camaraderie on the road, but there's also we all know that we got to bring our A game because the other guys opening are talented, and OT and his band are just so good live. It's like you gotta. This ain't no throwaway concerts, man.
For sure. And you know what? I really admire Overtime for the way he leads and directs and guides up and coming artists and shows them the rope. I mean, ropes. He doesn't hold secrets back, and it's not a selfish thing with him. He's a leader, and he is quality all the way through.
100%. I couldn't have said it better. And a leader, generous, and always down to drop knowledge on you. Been a really like a strong person in my corner. The past couple of years that I've known him, and I'm grateful that he and I got linked up.
So I dropped your website here as well. It's Jonezen at iamjonezen.com. What can they find on your site? Do you have merch up there and music downloads and all that?
I don't know if there's downloads, but there's definitely there's all the tour dates are up, so you can click there. You can buy tickets to see the shows. You can get merch. You can watch videos. You can read bios. There's links to all sorts of streaming sites for the music and whatever else, socials, all that stuff.
Janet McClanahan says, thanks for being transparent and sharing your journey with us.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Let me see. What else have I got here? Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And once again, brother, congrats on 12 years tomorrow.
Look at you put it on the screen and everything, man.
My man. Thank you. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, those that jumped on and shared, chiming in the comments, man. The magic really happens in the comments over here. People reach out, they're struggling. They just, y'all love on each other. And that's why I like doing live feeds, at this point. Next up on Saturday, I have Casey Jordan from F Around and Recover. Next week on Thursday, I have Kalichi. And Saturday, I have Matt Traver from Let's Get Another 24. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you again for sharing. Thank you for helping me build my platform back again. And,
man, it's my pleasure, dude. I'm in your corner and always rooting for you, brother.
I want to again extend gratitude to you for taking the time to do this. For one, I know you're busy. You're planning your tour. You got other projects going on. Just sharing a message of hope. And being, gut-wrenchingly honest with me and everyone that's watching, you're paying it forward, bro. And good things are going to come to you because you're putting the work in. You're creating powerful, impactful music that's helping people. You're creating that ripple effect of healing. So, thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to jump off here, guys. Thanks again.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, y'all.